still in effect in the metro area. I'll have more coming up.
All right, thanks. An Atlanta City Councilman with a famous last name, and tonight we are holding him and his spending habits accountable. Michael Julian Bond, the son of civil rights icon Julian Bond, has spent thousands of taxpayer dollars on things that you may find questionable.
Tonight, in an exclusive investigation that we first showed you on Atlanta Live this morning, 11 Alive's Katie Beck digs into that spending, which includes a recent trip to the nation's capital.
Bond's recent trip to Washington, D.C. was 5 days and funded by the city. The purpose of the $2,400 expense was so Bond could get ideas for a heritage trail here in Atlanta. We confirmed that Bond had 2 short meetings related to the trail, taking less than 3 hours on a single day. So why a 5-day trip then? Was it because he had his family reunion booked during those same days, also in D.C.? We were there and we caught it all on camera. But what brought us here is really where this story begins.
We had something we wanted to ask you about.
We actually started asking questions in April.
Were you aware that you owed this much?
No.
Bond had accrued $1,200 in fines to the state for not filing campaign finance forms on time.
And you told us that you were going to pay it either in a week or a month.
They had not been paid, and when we asked him again in June...
No, they haven't been paid, I'm embarrassed to say.
So we requested a look at Bond's city expense account, and we found red flags, like spending close to $2,600 on a private tutor for his career advancement, spending more than $2,000 on party favors for his own high school reunion, and taking cash advances for 22 out-of-town trips without providing receipts. And then finally, that trip to Washington, D.C. in July. It was time for answers. First up, the private tutoring.
What was the training for?
The training was for mathematics.
Mathematics in general? You felt like you needed training in mathematics in general?
Yes, I did.
The city offers no tuition reimbursement for employees, but the code does allow for council members to attend convention and training related to city business.
37 hours of general math?
Yeah.
So what about those high school reunion party favors paid for with $2,000 of your tax dollars? Custom pins shipped from Las Vegas with the class of '84's motto printed on them. Bond also bought he and his classmates some custom slideshow DVDs.
Have you provided pins and DVDs to other high school reunions besides your own?
Well, I haven't been asked.
Any high school in the city of Atlanta could ask you to donate pins and DVDs, and you're saying that you're going to grant all of them that same gift.
Well, I don't grant all of the requests that I get. I couldn't. I'd expend my budget.
Speaking of budgets, the city allows for cash advances on travel so long as receipts are provided to back up the expense. If not, elected leaders are supposed to pay it back. But right now, Bond has a list of 22 city trips with missing receipts going back to 2010.
I have turned in the receipts here to my office, and I depend on my staff to turn them in. I'm unaware of that.
So you're saying 22 times your staff has just made a mistake?
No one has ever raised this issue with me.
So whose fault is it?
Well, ultimately, it's my responsibility because this is my office.
What do you plan to do about it?
Well, I plan to try to find out what the hell happened.
While he's looking into that, we're looking into his recent trip to D.C.
I went and met with officials in Washington, D.C. and toured some of the markers that they have there.
Bond missed his Wednesday flight to D.C., so he says his first meeting with the city official was canceled. So on Thursday, on his own, Bond says he toured free historical sites. Then we confirmed Friday afternoon, Bond met with the museum director and city employee for a total of about 3 hours. Saturday, Bond says he again toured on his own, and Sunday, he flew home.
Did you have any other personal business to do while you were there?
I mean, my father lives in D.C., so if I see my father, I hardly think I'm robbing the taxpayers if I visit with my father.
So a visit with your father was the only other personal business you had to do there?
Sure.
I came up with this website for the Bond family reunion. This has listed all of the events of your family reunion that was in D.C. that same weekend that you were doing your monument tours. Did you attend any of your family reunion?
I attended a dinner, yes.
Which dinner would that be?
That was on Saturday night.
He did more than that. And we have the proof.
When we found out that this reunion was going on at the same time that you were in D.C., we actually have a photographer that was there.
It wasn't until we told him we were there and that we followed him around to his family reunion that he admitted attending all of the events. We showed him these still pictures from our video. Yes, that's him with the Bond reunion t-shirt over his shoulder Saturday morning. And this is him Friday Friday night at the Capitol Steps Comedy Club, posing with family, cast, and crew. And here he is getting into a cab with his daughters, wearing a t-shirt Saturday afternoon. So let's look at the calendar. He says he worked Thursday, and we confirmed 3 hours on Friday. Now he's admitted he attended his family reunion Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, and Saturday night. Bond asked and received an advance of taxpayer money for 4 nights at a hotel and a per diem.
Coincidence that your family reunion was at the same time as your touring D.C.?
I would say it is a coincidence.
So you're saying you needed that much time? You needed Wednesday through Sunday to accomplish this?
No, I would have preferred to, as I do with all of my other trips, try to combine them.
Bond stands by his decisions.
I run on accountability, okay? I am responsible for my office.
Bond sent a statement regarding our story earlier this evening. In it, he says our report is a distortion of his record. You can read his whole statement on 11alive.com. As far as his trip to Washington, D.C., he says the entirety of each business day was spent on the city of Atlanta business. At the conclusion of each business day, I believe I'm entitled to my own private time. We're going to continue to follow this story. Katie Beck, 11 Alive News.
Right now on 11alive.com, you can actually see more of Katie's interview with Michael Julian Bond. Are you okay with the councilman's spending, or is it, in your opinion, inappropriate? Read the story and then post your comments.